Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video we're going to be looking at a Tenda Wi-Fi 6 RX1 Pro. So this is a Wi-Fi 6 router. Now this is not for me, this is for my nan. Basically they have this Talk hub. It's okay, it's good enough, but the problem with their internet is it doesn't seem to reach very well in the back of the house. I did originally buy this Linksys MR9000. It worked. I came here, plugged it in, all it would show was a blue light, no matter if you tried to reset or anything. I looked it up. Apparently a few people have had this problem. People online are saying, oh yeah, open it up, do this. I got it off eBay. It was like £10. So I complained, got my money back, and bought this router. Later on, I plugged this in, started hitting it, it started working. But I don't trust it. I want something reliable here, because if they're using this for their internet and then it does that again, you know, it's not going to be very good. So this has got some pretty good reviews on Amazon. It should be a pretty good router. So it's Wi-Fi 6, but the Ethernet ports are only 10100, which means although it's Wi-Fi 6, the max speed you'll get out of it is 100 megabits per second. However, their internet is only 50 megabits a second anyway. So at the minute, they've got that Talk router, and I have this. After this broke, I've set up this little Airport Express. This went from 2013 when Apple used to make routers. This is only Wi-Fi 4 and it actually performs better than that Talk hub. So if this can do better, this should do a lot better. So let's get into it. So here it is. Not the best angle I've got here. I don't have a tripod or anything. But yeah. So as it says on here, spread Wi-Fi 6 to every corner, eliminate dead zones, minimise lag when you have multiple people on. So there's not many things that are connected here at the minute, but we have family that live far away, and when they come back they all stay here. So it is important that this, not that it's going to have loads of things connected to it all the time, but every once in a while it'll have loads of things. So it needs to be able to handle that. So it's got 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. It's got app management and IPv6. Let's go on the back. Wi-Fi 6, which is AX, and C, as I mean 100 meg is the most you'll get into it, but it's not going to have more than that anyway, so it should be okay. So basically with this, as it is VDSL broadband, so it comes in through the telephone line, we can't get rid of the Talk router. This plugs into the Talk router using a Ethernet cable, and then once this is set up and working, I'll turn off the Wi-Fi on the Talk and then put that in the cupboard out of the way, whereas I'll leave this on the top of the unit so it's higher up. Obviously this is at the front of the house. It's not the best place, and I've looked around where to run Ethernet cable to be able to hardwire this in more in the middle of the house. There's nowhere where it could easily go. It could go in the living room. That's only against this wall behind the telly, and that means it's through another wall if you're trying to use it upstairs, so that's not very good. The only other place I can find for it is on the floor, which is so low down I think it'd make the signal worse than if I leave it where it is. So this was from Amazon Warehouse. It was about £25, so more expensive than the other one, but for a Wi-Fi 6 router it's pretty good, and obviously you get what you pay for, which is sort of why it's only 10100 Ethernet ports. Nothing's going to be connected to the Ethernet ports. However, obviously the Wi-Fi coming into it is only the internet connection coming into it is only about 50 megs anyway, so they used to get a lot more than that, but since more houses have been built, it's got worse because all their broadband's connected to the same cabinet. using up more of the bandwidth. So, you know, it's just sort of tough luck. So this, I don't think we need the manual. I will scan the QR code for the app. So download that. So as you can see, it's quite light. It has about 4 antennas on it. So it's quite an ugly little thing, you know, it sticks out. So it does have one more antenna than the Linksys router. The design's a bit gamery, whatever, but it's quite plastic, you know, light, not very heavy. But yeah, it's got the SSID on the bottom. Obviously, we'll change that. You could mount it to the wall if you wanted. And here we go on the back. It's only got 4 Ethernet ports in total, which is one thing I preferred about other routers, where they've got the one WAN port, then 4 Ethernet ports. But as I mentioned, it might have like 1 Ethernet device connected anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And although this was second hand from Amazon, this all looks brand new. So we'll undo this. And we'll undo the Ethernet cable as well, as I'm going to use that. So I'm going to leave this where it is for now. I'm going to unplug this little air port. We can just use this Ethernet cable for now. As you can see, there is a power line adapter here. Basically, what I did was set up their old TalkTalk router as a access point and have another one of these in the shed outside. So that will be connected to the Ethernet port on this router. So when this is set up, this will go on this little thing like that, and this will go in here, as it won't need to give off any Wi-Fi. So we'll plug that in. We'll get this. We'll plug that in. So it's currently flashing red at me. So we'll click add device, router/mesh. So I'm gonna have to connect to it. So I am only connected to the 2.4 gigahertz, but that's fine. So you can have multiple of these, I think, around your house. So that's pretty good. Yes, we'll change this now. So it's decided to separate the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, which I don't really want. I want them to both be the same. So as you can see in here, it shows you how much internet's being used, the upload and download, which is pretty cool. If I go to Wi-Fi settings, I can turn on unified 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. So now we can save that. So it has been a while since the first part of this video. I'm starting to get caught up on all the editing, as I've been filming videos and then not posting them, not editing them or posting them. So yeah, here is the router in its place. Now this is not where it was last time, so it is on this shelf in the middle of the house. So as you see, that cabinet down there is where it was before. And the reason I've done this is, as having this router, I did have it set up about here. Now this is right at the front of the house. You know, there's living room there. There's a bedroom up in that wall there. And it made a bit of a difference, but as it was still in the same place, it didn't make as much of a difference as I hoped. As the problem in this house is the internet comes in here, and you've got a TV in here, which gets used quite a bit. I genuinely say most of the internet use is in this back room here. You've got a TV in here, and you sit at the table on your phone or whatever. So yeah, and it's right there. So it's only got to go through one wall, whereas before it had to go through quite a few. And this TV in particular did struggle quite a bit, even on the new Wi-Fi, to connect us at the front of the house. And then a bedroom up here, and a bedroom like above the living room. So what makes a big difference with Wi-Fi is how many walls it's got to go through. So with the TV and everything that happens in the living room, router sat there, had to go through this wall. And now that it's over here, it's got to go through this wall. So it's the same amount of walls. As before, like in the back room, you'd have to go, the way the Wi-Fi goes, will go through that wall, whereas now it's only got to go through that wall or through this wall, depending on where you're sat. And it's the same sort of situation with the bedrooms. The only bedroom it does affect, so they have a bedroom on like above there, which is an extension bedroom, so it is a proper brick wall. So that room is sort of affected, as it struggled a bit anyway, but it wouldn't, as this is a higher power router, it's better than if I'd put the TalkTalk router here, which we could have done, but it wouldn't have been as simple. So how did I get this here? Like, because it's not near where the internet comes in, so there's no plugs. So if you look at the back of this, there is a little adapter there. So power and Ethernet. So it's a power over Ethernet adapter. So I've got a cable that runs round here. You can probably see it here. A little grey cable goes underneath that door, like underneath this metal bit, shoved in the carpet, and then comes out in this little cupboard here, which is the other adapter. So Ethernet cable is connected to that, and so is the power. So this is a little adapter. So this is, you know, the internet coming from the main router, and then the power adapter for that Wi-Fi router is plugged into this, and it's plugged in there. So this little adapter sends the power through the Ethernet cable. So this used to be on top of this unit. So I turned the Wi-Fi off. It's in the cupboard, out the way. PoE thing, that whole power over Ethernet is nothing to do with this specific router that I bought. I could have done that with any of them. Now, the one disappointing thing about this is, which I think I mentioned before, is that although it's a Wi-Fi 6 router, it only gets it only has 100 megabit a second Ethernet ports. Which means if they ever upgrade their internet anything over 100 megabits a second, this won't be able to handle it. That's the max you can get into this. So it's not very future-proof, but my thought process was, if they ever upgrade to full fibre internet, all of them come with Wi-Fi 6 routers, so, and a lot of them come with mesh systems as well. So I thought, well, if they ever upgrade their internet, we'll probably use the standard ones and put a mesh thing here, or like put a mesh thing here instead of this. It was a consideration, mesh, but it was quite expensive, considering that I'd still have to run all these cables to one here, and if I had one over there, it'd probably just affect that room upstairs, which is just a spare bedroom, so it's not a big priority or anything. But for the money this costs, it's quite good. And obviously you can use, I believe you can use it as a Wi-Fi extender, so you don't have to have an Ethernet cable plugged in, which means if they did have faster internet than 100 megs a second, I could probably set this up as a Wi-Fi extender somewhere else. Like if I set it up as a Wi-Fi extender in this little conservatory room here, then that Wi-Fi would probably reach to the summer house. So yeah, in the garden, that does do better than the old one, but since we've got that little access point out there, it doesn't matter. So this is the app. See, Steph and Steve's Wi-Fi. You can see everything that's being used and what's not being used. So at the minute, there's nothing happening. But if I go in here and go to my laptop, and start playing.
This is really delicious, Mrs. Scott.
and I start playing. Unless that's already loaded, it should display on here. Yes, download 0.3. So when you're watching videos, it downloads a bit, so it's not a constant. So I'm now running a speed test, which 42, that's about standard. And as you can see, it now shows the download. That's what's being used by the speed test. Then when it switches to testing the upload, that will show as well. So pretty good. See how much your internet's being used, what speed you're actually using to do things. But yeah, where that laptop is there, if we were still connected to the old router over there, it'd probably be getting a lot less speed than that. But you can see 13 clients, so you click that and it shows you everything that is connected. So, you know, the doorbell, some Alexas, printer, phone, see that laptop there. And it tells you specifically, the sort of speed test has stopped now, but it tells you specifically what each device is using. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys come back for the next one. Bye.